Have you ever been let down by someone? Ever thought about giving them another chance, hoping they'd change or fix what they did wrong? You're not the only one. Many of us face the tough choice of forgiving and moving on, or just walking away. But what if there's another way? A method that's smart and fair, not naive or harsh. It's based on old Stoic beliefs, teaching us to live wisely and bravely, with self-discipline and fairness. Stoicism isn't a religion, but a hands-on guide to living well. The Stoics taught us to pay attention to what's in our power and make peace with what isn't. We can't make others act differently, but we can choose how we act. We can't change the past, but we can shape our now. We can't decide how things will turn out, but we can choose how we go about them. This way, we find calm and joy, no matter what's happening around us. A tough part of life is handling bad people, especially those who've hurt us. How do we deal with them? Should we let them try again or not? The Stoics have some good advice for us on this, which I'll talk about in this video. Here are 8 Stoic tips on why we shouldn't always give people a second chance. Lesson 1. Keeping emotions in check for better decisions. The first big step to growing as a person and making smart choices is learning to not let our feelings mess up our thinking. Feelings are a big part of being human. They give us happiness, sadness, anger, and fear. But when bad or challenging things happen, reacting quickly with emotion can lead us to make mistakes. If someone hurts us or lets us down, it's normal to feel angry, sad, or even want to get back at them. These feelings are okay, but they can make it hard for us to see things clearly and make good choices. Jumping to actions based on these emotions can make things worse. Stoic philosophy, which values self-discipline and logical thinking, teaches us to be emotionally strong and not let feelings dictate our actions. Epictetus, a Stoic thinker, once suggested, "When an emotion hits you, don't fall right away. Ask yourself, what are you really about? Let me check you out." This lesson asks us to think before acting on your feelings. To use this advice, start by recognizing your emotions without judging yourself. It's important to understand what you're feeling. Then, think about your emotions carefully. Are they too much for the situation? Are they helpful, or could they cause trouble? This step of thinking things through helps us act smarter in different situations. By figuring out where our emotions come from and if they're reasonable, we can choose if they should influence our actions or if we need to look at things more objectively. Think about the bigger picture and what you want to happen in the long run. What action matches your personal values and what you're aiming for? Handling strong emotions is also important. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or physical activity can reduce the power of our emotions. Getting advice from a friend or mentor can offer a fresh perspective and help us move past our initial feelings. Understanding others' emotions plays a big role too. Misunderstandings often happen when we don't consider other people's viewpoints. By empathizing with others, we can better handle social situations and find solutions that everyone agrees on. In summary, learning not to let our feelings mess up our thinking takes continuous effort and being aware of ourselves. When we get better at stopping, looking at, and controlling our emotions, we're more able to make choices that are well thought out, fair, and true to what's most important to us. Managing our emotions doesn't mean we push them away or pretend they're not there. It means we understand them and include them in a smarter, more complete way of dealing with life. Getting better at this not only helps us make better choices, but also improves how we get along with others, making life richer and more peaceful. Lesson 2. Understanding the difference between letting go and making up. The second lesson about managing our feelings and relationships is to grasp the key difference between forgiving someone and getting back on good terms with them. People often mix these up, but knowing the difference can make our relationships healthier and more rewarding. Forgiving is a personal thing we do inside ourselves, where we release bad feelings like bitterness, anger, or wanting revenge on someone who has hurt us. It's about finding peace with the past for our own sake, not for the person who wronged us. Forgiving is like a gift to ourselves. It helps us drop the heavy load of hard feelings that can harm our mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics, who valued inner calm and logical thought, saw forgiving as a way to keep our peace of mind. Seneca, one of these philosophers, said, "The best cure for anger is to wait." This wise saying means that giving ourselves time to cool down and think things over can help us see things more clearly and calmly. Waiting helps us understand that the person who messed up is also human and can make mistakes out of not knowing better, weakness, or even on purpose. But just because we forgive someone, it doesn't mean we have to go back to being close with them. Making up with someone is about fixing the relationship and trust after someone has hurt us, which is much harder and needs both people to work at it. It requires open talking, respect for each other, and often a promise to do better from the one who caused the hurt. It's key to know that making up with someone isn't always the right or possible thing to do. Sometimes what was done to us is too much, or the person who hurt us hasn't shown they're sorry or willing to change. They might still be a threat or disrespect our limits. In these cases, trying to fix things might do more harm than good. When thinking about making up, it's important to look at what happened and how the other person is acting. Was this a one-time thing, or is it how they always act? Have they really said sorry and owned up to what they did? Do we think things can get better? Asking ourselves these questions can help us decide what to do. Fixing a relationship doesn't mean everything goes back to how it was or ignoring the hurt. It means talking openly, being real about what went wrong, and setting new rules to keep respect and safety on both sides. Talking to people we trust, like friends, family, or a counselor, can help us think things through, and we should trust our gut too. If the idea of making up makes us feel worried or uncomfortable instead of at peace, it might not be the right choice. Deciding to forgive and possibly make up is a very personal thing. It depends a lot on the situation and what we believe is right. It's important to be kind to ourselves and understand our feelings as we work through these choices. Forgiving lets us let go of anger and bitterness, and being careful about making up helps us keep our emotional health and relationships healthy and respectful. Lesson 3. Stay true to what you believe in. Living a life with strong principles means always sticking to your values and standards. The Stoics, who believed in living in sync with our natural, rational, and social selves, stressed the importance of virtues like wisdom, bravery, self-discipline, and fairness. They saw these qualities as essential for treating others with kindness and justice, crucial for true happiness and fulfillment in our dealings, even with those who've wronged us. Sometimes we might be tempted to lower our standards or give up our values to get along with others or to dodge disagreements. This could show up in many ways, like making excuses for someone's bad behavior, ignoring their mistakes, supporting their negative habits, forgetting our needs, or even going against our own morals. While these might seem small at the moment, they can greatly damage our integrity and how we feel about ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, a well-known Stoic leader and thinker, warned us, "Don't see any benefit in things that will make you break your promise or lose your self-esteem." His advice tells us that our moral compass and self-esteem are precious and shouldn't be traded for anything temporary or superficial. Giving up on our values can lead to losing our self-respect, harming our character, and disturbing our inner calm. Keeping true to our values and standards demands a clear understanding of our beliefs and a firm dedication to live by them, even when it's tough. This could mean setting strict limits, standing up to wrongs, or choosing paths that match our deepest convictions. Keeping to our standards doesn't mean we can't be flexible. It's about finding the right mix of sticking to our beliefs and being open to compassion and understanding. It's knowing the difference between what we can adjust and what must stay firm. This ability to tell them apart is essential in dealing with others and keeping relationships strong. Standing by our values often takes bravery and the strength to stand alone, even when it means facing criticism or feeling left out. Yet, the confidence and self-esteem we gain from being true to ourselves are worth more than any temporary discomfort. To keep true to our values, it's important to regularly check if our actions match our beliefs. Getting input from friends who hold similar values can offer new perspectives and keep us on track. Also, creating a circle of support that shares our standards can give us the encouragement we need when times get tough. In summary, not giving up on our values is key to a life filled with integrity and satisfaction. It takes effort to really understand, express, and live by our deepest beliefs. By doing this, we not only keep our own dignity, but also make a positive impact on the world. As we face life's challenges, remember that real success and joy come from being faithful to our innermost values and principles. Lesson 4. Accept people as they are. The fourth lesson for leading a wise and balanced life, especially in our interactions with others, is learning not to hold on to the hope that people will change. The Stoics, who valued logic and accepting what's in front of us, taught the importance of seeing individuals and situations for what they truly are, not what we wish them to be. This understanding is key to our mental and emotional health and in building real, meaningful connections. A core aspect of Stoicism is accepting reality as it is. This involves recognizing people's true nature based on their actions and behavior, rather than our own desires or hopes. Hoping for someone to change to meet our expectations often leads to disappointment. We commonly wish for others to adjust their ways or traits to suit our needs, but this usually ends in feeling let down because people tend to stick to their usual patterns. The Stoics believed it's pointless to try changing others, since everyone has the freedom to make their own decisions. Acknowledging this helps us respect and understand each other better in our relationships. They also highlighted that our control over others and the outcome of our interactions is limited. Our control mainly lies within our own actions and responses. Hence, if we decide to give someone another chance, it's vital to do so without expecting them to change. Choosing to reconnect with someone should not hinge on the hope for a different outcome or a changed personality, as this can lead to more letdowns. Our decisions should be rooted in accepting others as they are, viewing any change as a bonus rather than a certainty. It's important to understand what changes are possible and what aspects of a person's character or values are unlikely to shift. People might change certain habits or behaviors, but their core habits and deep-seated beliefs usually remain stable. Recognizing these limits sets realistic expectations for our relationships. Remember, genuine change happens on an individual's own effort and timing. Change driven by internal motivation tends to be real and lasting, whereas change for someone else's sake or under pressure tends to be shallow and short-lived. Focusing on our responses, decisions, and setting clear boundaries can develop healthier relationships. Open communication about our expectations can lead to more authentic interactions while protecting our well-being. Being willing to re-evaluate and possibly change our connections based on actual situations reflects emotional intelligence. Sometimes, distancing ourselves or ending a relationship is necessary for our peace of mind and alignment with our values. Simply put, releasing the expectation for people to change teaches us to accept reality, honor personal freedom, and focus on what we can control. This mindset creates clearer, more realistic relationships, enhancing our interactions and mental peace. By accepting others for who they are rather than who we want them to be, we open the door to truer connections and avoid the disappointment and frustration that come from unmet expectations. Lesson 5. The power of saying no. The fifth lesson in maintaining a life of integrity and balance emphasizes the courage to say no. The Stoics argues for self-reliance, independence, and living by one's own reasoning, also praised the virtues of simplicity and moderation. They taught the importance of finding contentment in our current state, rather than longing for what we don't have. Deciding if we should let someone back into our lives can be hard because we're often afraid. We might be scared of losing them, feeling alone, or being left out. We might also worry that saying no makes us look mean or like we can't forgive. These fears can heavily influence our choices, pulling us away from what we truly feel is right for us. It's vital to face and conquer these fears to preserve our self-direction and dignity. Epictetus, a big name in Stoic thinking, pointed out that it's not what happens to us that bothers us, but how we think about it. He tells us to think carefully about our own opinions and ideas. By really looking at what we believe, we can make decisions that match our main values and common sense, instead of just going with what we feel in the moment or what other people think. Upholding our boundaries and preferences is key to protecting our self-rule and dignity. Saying no, when it reflects our principles and decisions, is not just about taking care of ourselves. It's the evidence of our honesty and moral integrity. This act is about acknowledging and respecting our own needs, limitations, and goals. It involves putting our mental health and peace ahead of worrying about others' negative reactions or letdowns. Additionally, the ability to refuse can be an act of kindness towards both ourselves and others. It prevents us from participating in activities or relationships with hesitation or bitterness. It enables us to put our efforts and time to what genuinely resonates with us and fulfills our life's goals. It also offers others the benefit of understanding our perspective clearly, helping them make informed decisions. Recognizing the line between assertiveness and self-centeredness is crucial. Being assertive involves voicing our needs and views in a respectful and confident manner without invading anyone else's rights. It's about striking a harmony between looking after our own needs and considering those of others. Learning to say no also means building emotional toughness. It takes bravery to face possible negative feedback and the strength to remain faithful to what we believe is right. Developing such strength doesn't happen overnight, but through self-examination, lessons learned from past experiences, and possibly with help from mentors or therapists. Improving our ability to communicate clearly is also crucial. Expressing our refusal in a straightforward, kind, and understanding way can help prevent misunderstandings and promote mutual respect. It's about being candid but thoughtful, offering explanations when needed, and always being compassionate. In essence, mastering the art of saying no is a critical aspect of living genuinely, upholding personal boundaries, and prioritizing our needs and principles. It enables us to make decisions aligned with our true self, leads to more fulfilling relationships, and improves our overall happiness. By valuing our right to refuse, we respect our independence, build inner toughness, and approach life with more assurance and insight. Lesson 6. Making your peace a priority. Deciding not to give someone another chance to hurt or disappoint you isn't about staying mad at them forever. It's really about making sure you're taking good care of your own feelings and happiness. Sometimes we're put in tough spots where we have to decide if we should let someone close to us again. This moment is super important for your heart and mind. Think about it. Feeling calm and happy inside is priceless. If you remember times when being around certain people made you feel upset, worried, or just plain bad, then it makes a lot of sense to keep your distance. Saying no to reopening that door is actually you looking out for yourself, making sure you're feeling good and staying positive. It's like when you decide to stay in and relax because you know going out will tire you out. You're choosing what's best for you, and that's okay. It shows you care about yourself. People might change, but we can't make them do it. What we can do is choose how we react to what they do and decide who we spend our time with. It's like being the captain of your own ship. You decide where to sail, aiming for calm seas instead of heading into a storm. When you think about letting someone back into your life, it's super important to weigh how they've made you feel in the past. If being with them felt like walking on eggshells, or if you ended up feeling down, why go back to that? Protecting your peace is key. Imagine your mind is a garden. You wouldn't want to let someone in who's going to trample all over your flowers, right? You'd want to keep it a happy, peaceful place where you can relax and be yourself. Lesson 7. Valuing your time and energy. Time and energy are limited resources, and how you choose to spend them reflects what you value. Every moment spent in situations or relationships that drain you is a moment not spent on activities and with people that uplift you. Making the conscious choice to say no to giving someone a second chance means you're choosing to invest your time and energy wisely. It's an affirmation that you deserve relationships that are fulfilling, supportive, and reciprocal. This decision helps cultivate a life filled with interactions that are enriching and aligned with your values, rather than depleting your emotional reserves on situations that have already shown themselves to be harmful. Lesson 8. Embracing growth and new opportunities. Saying no to revisiting a past relationship or situation isn't just about closing a door. It's about opening yourself up to new opportunities for growth and happiness. Every time you make a decision that honors your well-being, you affirm your worth and open space in your life for new experiences that can bring joy, learning, and fulfillment. This approach encourages personal growth, allowing you to evolve from past experiences rather than being tethered to them. It's an acknowledgement that the future holds potential for better connections and experiences that align more closely with who you are becoming. Embracing this mindset is a step towards a life where your decisions reflect not only who you've been, but who you aspire to be, fostering relationships and opportunities that resonate with your deepest values and goals.